Hi, I'm Doug Keck. This is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Just had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Edward Feser about his book, All One in Christ, a Catholic critique of racism and critical race theory. It's published by our friends at Ignatius, available through our religious catalog. Dr. Feser, tell us about this book and why you decided to write it at this time.
The book's about, among other things, the Catholic Church's traditional teaching on racism and how it applies to the current controversy over critical race theory, and in particular the incompatibility of the main themes of critical race theory on the one hand and Catholic social teaching on the other. And I wrote the book because though it's not a topic I'm ordinarily interested in or even really frankly find pleasant, it's extremely important because of the influence of these ideas in the last several years. And I thought that people were not really approaching it the way I thought personally they should, and weren't in particular seeing the deep incompatibilities between critical race theory and Catholic social teaching, and were fooled into thinking that because critical race theory calls itself anti-racist, it must be innocuous, when in fact it's not, and in fact it's not even really anti-racist. It's just an alternative form of racism when closely inspected.
Why do you think so many people of goodwill, especially inside the church, would accept this without question?
I think part of it is simply out of their goodwill. So a decent person, of course, has to be opposed to racism, so that something that presents itself as anti-racist is going to have an obvious initial attraction for them. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people also are not well informed about the content of critical race theory. They haven't bothered to read the writings of critical race theorists themselves, or even in some cases the popularizers like Ibram Kendi and Rama DeAngelo and people like that. So I wrote the book to inform them of these ideas and just how extreme and radical and contrary to Catholic social teaching that they really are.
Where do you think this movement stands at this point? Has it crested, or is it continuing to flow?
That's a good question. I think that we're at kind of a tipping point. It's not clear exactly what's going to happen, but I do think that there are many people, and not just people who are on the conservative end of the political spectrum or who are religious, but even people who would traditionally regard themselves as liberal or left of center, who are very uncomfortable with the radicalism and extremism of critical race theory and are pushing back against this. We've seen this in school board elections and the like. And so it may be that this trend of thought is peaking, and that there will be a significant pushback that will sort of put it back on its heels. But how successful that effort will be, I think, remains to be seen.
Okay, very good. Dr. Edward Feser, All One in Christ, a Catholic critique of racism and critical race theory. Much to think about. Look for this book through our EWTN religious catalog, EWTNRC.com, all things Catholic, of course. And don't forget to look for the entire interview I did with the doctor, which will be on our on-demand page and YouTube channel and coming soon on the network. I'm Doug Keck. This has been an EWTN Bookmark Brief. We appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time.